All right, what is good, everybody? Quancredible here, and today we finally have chapter 77 of Four Nights. And this chapter is we've been waiting for a long time
But this is exactly what I've been waiting
for Arthur to finally actually be in the story and do stuff. And now we finally got that, the fated clash between the Four Knights, Arthur, and even the King of Leonis all making appearances in this chapter. Honestly, bro, I've been waiting for a long time. It sucks that we're gonna have to wait for next week to really get into it. But this chapter was like a great beginning for all of that. So as per how the last chapter ended, we do see at the start of this one Tristan rushing at Arthur, and it's crazy because essentially the same exact thing happened with Percival. I thought they were gonna have more of like a back and forth or just a slight exchange. Like I knew Arthur would be way stronger than him. It's not like I thought Tristan was gonna like push him to one knee or something, but I really thought that like he would stand a little bit of a chance. But same thing as Percival, he hits like his aura or like he just can't even touch him and just gets sent like absolutely flying. And not gonna lie, when I first read it, I thought Tristan was like down. Like I thought he just got one shot, but he does make an appearance later on in the chapter. And then after Tristan is down, we do get Dreyfus trying to, I guess, like rile up and command all of the rest of the Holy Knights to do an attack in unison. But against Arthur, we got we're gonna have to change his name now. He's no longer Arthur Pendragon. He's now Arthur Pendragon because he pulls out Conqueror's Hockey in Four Nights, and no one wants to attack him. They literally do not want to fight him. They just can't make a. It seems like a hostile move against him. So Arthur Pendragon with the Conqueror's Hockey in a different series is just too OP. And again, we all knew Arthur was crazy strong. We all knew he got way stronger. Even Dreyfus is like, he's shocked that it's that boy from back then. But to be this far above Tristan and the other knights is like absolutely insane. Because when you really put it into like perspective, is the same Tristan that no diffed a chaos enhanced fusion of two, commandment level fighters in Seven Deadly Sins. Realistically, from that series, there's only a handful of characters that would actually be able to beat a chaos enhanced fused version of Galen and Malasco. There's not really a lot of characters that can beat that. Like, it's really just like the stronger sins and like I'm assuming Elizabeth because she has the lore for it. Mal probably. So it's like if we're talking about crazy strong, and then so a character that is this powerful can't even get through to Arthur. Like you can't even touch him. So it really puts things into perspective for how powerful Arthur is, seeing as you can't even attack him or anything. We do get a name for this. He calls it the King's Authority. I'm wondering, is this an actual ability? Like, if this is an actual technique using chaos magic or using maybe his own magic or something along those lines, or is it just like he's just saying it? Like the way he says it makes it sound like it's an ability, but well, we'll probably find out more later. We do in this chapter do get to find out what Annie was doing. Annie was actually kind of thinking ahead because I remember 2 chapters ago she had ran off in the middle of the Alaska Gallon fight, and I was like, dang, I wonder where Annie went. So we get to see in this chapter that she actually went to evacuate Leonis, which good thinking on like her part and good thinking on Nakaba's part to try to get her some way involved and not just be kind of sitting there stuck on stupid and just staring at everybody. But at the same time, it's like Leonis is a relatively large kingdom, so I mean, she wasn't going to be able to evacuate all of it. Um, so I mean, it was definitely the right idea, just kind of unrealistic. I also do feel like whatever is the end result of this exchange, though, of like after this whole attack on Leonis is over, I feel like this is going to affect Annie a lot for her character in terms of she's going to really be like filled with the feeling of uselessness because a character like her is very proud and confident in her own skills and like who she is, but to be this useless in this entire thing, I feel like that's really going to affect her to make her want to like do something crazy to get stronger. I'm not for sure what that could be. I mean, obviously she's going to train, but I'm not for sure what she, like as I said before, I'm not for sure what she could do to somewhat catch up to Percival. Aside from all that, we do have Arthur, like I guess telepathically communicating with everybody in the kingdom. I'm not for sure if it's only the humans. Like it would make sense if it was only the humans, but it also makes sense if it was just everyone. And he's basically saying what I believe to be his plan is. I'm not for sure if there's some like stage 2 of his plan, but basically he's bringing up the past holy wars that have happened in Britannia and saying that the only way humans can live in peace is if they live with non-human races. And the only thing that kind of bothers me about this is he only brings up two instances, and it's like a holy war 3,000 years ago and a holy war 16 years ago. So it's like there is a large gap of like nothing happening in that time. So it's like there's only been if you only have like two major wars to speak of in the past 3,000 years, I feel like that's pretty good. Like I feel like that's not that bad, but Arthur seems to see it a different way. So he seems to see the only, like I said, true peace is without the other races. So he does offer the humans of Leonis salvation essentially. And basically, we see him doing the same thing he did with Ard. Is he's promising everybody, and actually Jericho, he's promising everybody a paradise where they can be reunited with their loved ones. Basically, this like mystical. Like I'm not sure if he's going to create a world for everyone, or if there's just going to be like this gigantic world that has like everything everyone would ever want in it, and then just bring them all there. I'm not really for sure which way he's trying to do it. We do get this huge panel of like a bunch of random people. It's funny because like there's a bunch of like characters that we actually do notice, like for example, there's like Easter eggs from like Nakaba's first manga. There's the one golf dude that he had a manga for. I don't even know his name, but I remember he had a golf manga. And even like way up in the top left corner, you see Monspeed, super random because he's a demon, so I don't even know. Maybe he's like one of Nakaba's favorite characters, so he just wanted to put him in there for that reason. Because I know for a fact Arthur hates demons, so he would not just put him in there. We even for Percival, like even Percival gets to see his granddad Varghese, so it's one of those things where Arthur may even try to offer this to Percival, and maybe Percival could be tempted at some point. That could be a whole thing for later on, who knows? But at the very end of all this, he does say that, even though the seven deadly sins are heroes, they're just a medley of other races, and they will eventually betray the people, which is definitely like I don't know where Arthur is getting this from. Like I definitely think, like as we know, we don't know what happened to him in these 16 years. But like I've been saying, I think it's something Cath related, to where it's just messing with his head, because that's not really what the seven deadly sins do. They don't really betray the people. They're definitely heroes through and through. So it's one of those things where Arthur is just crazy right now. But to interrupt his speech, we do have Tristan getting back up, launching an attack. Arthur isn't even that surprised that Tristan is able to, I guess, attack and move through his king's authority that he brings up again. And basically, even though Tristan did have the strength to get back up and launch an attack, it does appear like Arthur was just about to wipe him out with whatever this unnamed magical attack was before we get the little full counter panel. And we all know it's Meliodas. Meliodas has finally shown up into the fight, which been waiting for forever. This has definitely gotten way out of hand for just Tristan and his friends, or I mean Percival and his friends, to handle. So with this, Arthur does bring up a conversation him and Meliodas had, where Meliodas told him once a man makes a vow out loud, he can't just take it back, trying to like use Meliodas' words against him. But then Meliodas is like, even if you lose your way, the seven deadly sins will still be with you, referring back to like I want to say it was one of those last two chapters where when Arthur was going off to do his own thing, Meliodas was reassuring him that they'll always be with him, they'll always be kind of friends, so to speak. And I guess this is still Meliodas wanting to bring Arthur back to his senses for the very last panel. And like I said, this chapter was dope. It had a lot of good parts to it and a lot of stuff we had been looking forward to. The main thing to talk about, though, is where this is going to go next chapter as far as Meliodas versus Arthur. Because, as Meliodas said, he wants to bring Arthur back to his senses, meaning that he doesn't really want to fight him. Like, I don't think Meliodas is going to go, like, out for blood, trying to kill him like he was, say, the Demon King. Whereas for Arthur, it doesn't seem like Arthur really has any problems with killing Meliodas. So it I don't think either one of them is going to necessarily die in this exact confrontation. It seems a little early in the story for Meliodas to die, and there's a lot of things that he still could contribute, so I don't think he's going to die yet. And then obviously Arthur, main villain right now, so I definitely don't think he's going to die either. So I'm just really curious to see how their fight is going to go or end up. I know a lot of people, at least that I've talked to personally, think that we could possibly get a Indra transformation for Meliodas that will allow people to escape. I'm personally not the biggest fan of this. I mean, it does have some credibility, obviously. That form, sacrificing some of his hearts to gain an even more powerful form to, hold Arthur off. That does make sense. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't. But I personally don't like it because you're basically sacrificing yourself at that point. Whereas Meliodas, through his like through the events of Seven Deadly Sins, has learned to, I guess, appreciate and really value his life and wants to enjoy it the way he wants to, and not necessarily just give it up by turning into a Indra. Not to mention Meliodas is so powerful. I feel like a Indra form from him, a form that demons can't control once they turn into one. Like Arthur might not be able to stop that. So it's like it might be more damage than it is good. It might be more of a danger. So those are kind of my two reasons why I think he won't. I mean, if he does, I'm not gonna be like the maddest person in the world, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. I do think, however, Meliodas might get messed up. I think he is. I think he is going to get pretty messed up. What I was saying to be a compromise is we know that Arthur can like do dimensional. So I was saying he could just throw Meliodas into another dimension entirely, and Meliodas would literally have no way to get out without the help of Merlin or without like finding an exit from that place himself. Because Meliodas doesn't have like that kind of magical power. You can totally just send him other places. So it's one of those where there are ways to deal with Meliodas and get him out the story without necessarily killing him so he can't contribute later. So that's kind of where I think things are going to go. I think Meliodas is going to get sent somewhere else, or maybe sealed in some way, or maybe Meliodas has some type of precautions against someone like Arthur. Maybe he's been like has a backup plan or something, or we're just really going to have to wait and see how it goes. Because like I said, there's a lot of different ways this whole thing can go. But I really did enjoy this chapter. It's definitely like I think I gave the last chapter a 8 or a 9. I'm gonna give this one a 9 too. Only reason this one's not a 10 is because I know the next chapter is going to be better with their actual fight taking place. So aside from all that, let me know how you guys felt about the chapter down below and what you guys think is going to happen next. And you guys make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you all in my next video.